All right. Well, hello there, everybody, and good morning. So I'm just a moment early, and I hope you like the little new bumper thing for when we're doing live streams. So this was an unanticipated live stream this morning, but we'll get into that. So here we are at 8:30, and thanks to everyone who's stopped in here to check out what it is I'm talking about today. Um, so as always, thanks for stopping in and hanging out for a few. My name is Rich Charpentier. I'm the channel host, and 9 times out of 10, we're talking about drones, building your drone business, imaging. We're getting into more open software, open source software. And today, I want to talk about a conversation that I had yesterday with one of my subscribers. And if somebody could just give a shout out on the chat channel here, let me know that the audio is coming across okay. And because I was seeing that the stream health quality wasn't doing so great this morning, it keeps bouncing back and forth. So if someone could pipe up, I see there are a couple people on channel. I see I already have a thumbs down on this subject. I hope the thumbs down is for the pirates and not for the topic. Well, actually, let me just double check. I want to make sure that, all right, looks like we are on screen and everything's going all right. So yesterday, one of my subscribers who I regularly talk to about different things, they get in touch, ask questions, make suggestions, all very appreciated. And they let me know yesterday that they stumbled across one of my classes, and which is good. I'm glad people are finding my classes. It's just where the class was found is what's problematic. So I'm going to go ahead and switch screens here. So there we go. So now you should be seeing my screen on channel as well. And I'm just going to check really quick to make sure. All right, good. Everything's up here. So anyways, the subscriber got in touch and sent me some screen captures yesterday. I wasn't sure at first. There we go, Eric. Register your teaching materials with the United States office. And thank you, Eric. That's I'm actually going down a rabbit hole of this right now. I've had one other class that ended up on a pirate site somewhere and a couple of years ago and was able to get that taken care of. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But so the subscriber got in touch here, and this didn't quite look like me immediately. I said, I'm not sure. This is from one of those Pirate Bay sites. Don't follow their web link. It's not worth it. But so I do know there are groups out there that do pirate classes. My classes are listed on Udemy and Teachable, and I'm going to say something about that a little later too. The one thing, so the person who passed this along showed that this was, the original source was from Udemy right here, and I am listed on Udemy. So I'm going to close that one up and bring up number two because I was still skeptical. I said I don't think it's me. I think it's somebody else who's on Udemy who's getting pirated. But so then they grabbed a screen cap for me. Recognize my yellow OR hat? Yeah, it's me. So he was spot on, and as a matter of fact, sent a couple more links as well. And one of my other thoughts was, well, I give away free previews. So when you go to any of the course sites for my stuff, if you're going over to Udemy or to Teachable, I will usually activate a couple of previews because I want you to see what's happening in the class, if my style of instruction works for you, if the topic is interesting to you, all that kind of stuff. So I do give out free previews at the start of classes so that people can get a feel for what's happening before they, spend their hard-earned money. So I want to make sure that everyone's enjoying the class series I put together. That's a big part. I put these together to share my experience with you, the YouTube audience, and the Teachable and the Udemy audiences. And I'm hoping that I'm helping you get your start into your drone business as well. So it means a lot to me when I hear back from students and folks on YouTube that these things have helped them out. And so, yeah, there we go. We definitely are showing up on that particular pirate location, which is, well, it's a bummer. So the next thing that I did, of course, I went back and I remembered with Udemy that they do have a process for dealing with that. So this does happen, and it's not just me. It happens to a lot of people. By the way, I'm not in a bad mood over this or anything. It's an extra thing to be doing today. And I had other plans for today, but I'm going to chase this down. This morning I've already submitted. So Udemy talks about how they protect your comment, piracy detection program, so that's good. They've got their frequently asked questions, and then they do have an anti-piracy vendor that they work with. So in addition to the proactive monitoring of privacy detection program, they can also bring down course links that are infringing. So I did already submit to them this morning. This is clickable right here, the third-party piracy reporting form. I'm just going to show it to you real quick because let's pull this one up. By the way, at any time, just let me know. Like I said, it said the stream quality wasn't doing so hot this morning. It was bouncing up and down. So if there's any streaming issues, just let me know. Thanks, Eric. I really appreciate that. And that was a quick response. Cool. So I guess we are streaming really good. So you can actually, Udemy has this third party helping out. So you put your name, your email, your course title. So I did all of that. And then the URLs that you know are offending URLs. Well, I only got one here from the subscriber who let me know about this. But it's a starting point for me. So I went through, I did their whole submission, and now it's a matter of wait and see. So we'll be seeing if we get an email from them. The last time that I went through this process, I did in fact get an email back from this third party, and they let me know that they did identify some bad stuff. So there's the Udemy policy, the security for Teachable. They go through a security explanation as well. One of the things that I've been meaning to address on here, I've had complaints from a couple of students. I understand the complaints. They would like the downloadable versions of the course so that they can have them on their hard drive and not have to be tethered to the net all the time. One of the things I do know is that when you put these up for download, one person will come in, they'll take the class, they'll download it, and they'll put it right up on a pirate site somewhere. So I have not been doing downloadables for courses. I understand, like I said, I've gotten a couple requests from folks, but the piracy issue, I'm just opening the door if I let anyone download these because they can upload them wherever else they want to. Now, what you see, my content on YouTube, I'm not worried about if it pops up somewhere, if somebody does an embed code somewhere. When you're putting things up on YouTube that are public, they're public. So that's not the concern. The concern is when we put these classes together, and I'm putting these classes together because I feel like there's a need for them. So I don't just randomly go out and do drone classes, how to fly the drone, how to use your sticks. I'm more focused on the business aspects of the type of jobs that I'm doing. And so that is what I'm sharing with my audience. Those folks who are interested in mapping and modeling, drone construction, progression reporting, making streamlined deliverables. All of those topics are really interesting to me, and they're part of my day-to-day job. So I feel that I have, I can comment on it and potentially bring you something valuable. So those are the types of classes that I'm doing. But just to let you know, because we're going to mention something about WebODM coming up, not only do we have the online classes, which is where I got pirated from, but I do a lot of different playlists as well on different topics. So I'm currently building a new class on WebODM. So I've been doing a huge deep dive on it. And actually, you're going to see something about that class in a bit. That class is basically ready to go. I'm getting some feedback from some folks who are beta testing it for me. And thank you guys very much for doing that. And I've been getting a lot of feedback. And that's part of the feedback I got yesterday. One of the folks who's checking out the WebODM class for me, maybe they were looking up my name or something. I don't know how they found that particular BitTorrent, but that's when they let me know about it. But so in addition to the full class that I'm doing, we've covered the topic of WebODM pretty well starting up this year, and the testing that I've been doing with it, and I've been sharing that. So on my same YouTube channel, if you go over to the playlist, you're going to find the WebODM playlist. And right now I have it sorted and oldest to newest. So when I first started re-examining WebODM, did a 20-minute long video with you, and just to bring you along to see, hey, WebODM is a possibility. And for those of you who are super high-end self-starters, you might have taken this and run with this, and you've installed WebODM, you've started using WebODM, you're having a great time, and you're figuring it out on your own. That's awesome. I put together the longer classes for those folks who might need a little more help going through the installation, the downloaders that they offer for $57, or talking about the fully free installation where we're not going to do the command line stuff because that's getting over the heads of a lot of people. I like doing beginner classes because I know there's a lot of beginners out there, and I know you have a lot of the questions that I had when I started out. So that's a big part of why I do the courses. But so we often, when we're covering big subjects, when we're making new classes, a lot of that'll spill over into the YouTube, so people get that for free as well. So I'm pretty disappointed with the folks pirating it because the classes, especially on Udemy, come across very inexpensive, I'm going to say. So, and I say that because Udemy, they do sales all the time. So I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes about the experience of being a content creator and putting classes up online. So when I started out, I started with Udemy. And recently, well, not recently, it's been over a year now, I've been starting to do new things on Teachable. So I made a decision, and I am in the middle of transitioning from Udemy to Teachable. Everything that's on Udemy stays there. The students who've gotten things on Udemy will still have access to them. That's part of Udemy's policy. And, I'm happy to also update classes that are over on Udemy, and I'm going to be doing that over the next couple weeks because as I've been building the new class, I've been noticing some things that can be added to a couple of the older classes. So even the older classes at Udemy are going to continue to get updated, but our new classes, our brand new 2022 classes, are showing up only over on our Teachable setup, and I'm going to talk to you about why. So this is one of the classes that's shown up that apparently has been pirated. This is my introduction to 2D and 3D modeling with Metashape. And this was put together a good time ago now, and I've got some updates for it too. For the folks who are on that particular class, yes, I'm going to do some basics on GCPs finally. I hadn't done much on GCPs because beginners classes, when we start talking GCPs, as one of the folks on my Patreon channel goes, whoosh, right over my head. So I wanted to make this Agisoft class without the ground control points because it is getting into a much higher end topic. And it also requires some more expenditures like higher end GPS units or, an RTK drone, you name it, you're spending a lot more. And for most of my beginners who are just starting out with this, they're not investing, another $10,000 into the business yet until they, start feeling comfortable with doing some of these processes. But so what I want to show you on Udemy right now, my class is on sale for $13.99. That's not a sale that I've done. Udemy does a lot of sales, Black Friday, different holidays, and this is the case for most instructors on Udemy. And so they do have a great reach. So I have much more exposure to people who might be interested in these topics. So they have this huge pool of students. You might even be one of them. And those students will often find us through Udemy, through Udemy's marketing efforts. And so that's part of why you would like to use Udemy. The big problem for me is some of the pricing structure becomes painful, which is why I've started building the Teachable side instead. So when Udemy does these big classes, when Udemy delivers you a student, they take the lion's share of the sales price. So when you're looking at this and you're saying, hey, the courses are good for reference, even for folks who've dug into the topic like WebODM, because we all pick up different things. Thanks, Jim. Well, I'm glad that the courses are being helpful for folks. And I am 100% into self-learning as well. But yes, have I taken classes on Udemy? Yeah, I've taken classes on Udemy, and I've taken classes on lynda.com over the years. Absolutely, to brush up on some database stuff years ago, I took several classes on lynda.com, and I think that's now part of LinkedIn. I've taken classes on Udemy, and when I need to dive deep into something, I go to online classes as well, and I'm happy to pay the fees because they're helping me do my job and do my job better. But so in the case of Udemy, when they deliver, so let's pretend you're a content creator, when they deliver you a student and you didn't find them through your own marketing efforts, they take a huge percentage. And by huge percentage, I mean, this class, on average, I make about $3.25 on. That's over the course of several years now having this particular class up. So in the end, when you see a class, and they always have their markdowns. So when you see a class that's normally listed for $29.99 and then they've got some kind of sale, like the Black Friday sale, everything's $9.99. At the time, at the time of Black Friday, we'll usually see more students signing up with classes. So they've got a few dollars to spend, or maybe they're gifting a class to somebody. And that's really cool to gift somebody a class if you know their interests. But so during that Black Friday sale, when you sit down and you go, well, you know, this person's got X amount of students at $30 a student. We don't get $30 a student. No, nobody does. Folks with their own private hosting might, and some of the higher end programs out there for the huge deep dives might. But when you're leaving it to Udemy and you want their marketing and you want them pushing new people in, as a content provider, I'm not kidding. I checked my phone this morning on what has been earned in this class, and I have averaged $3.25 per sale. As you can see, we've had 888 students in this class and 264 ratings. That's pretty good response at 4.2. So we've gotten a lot of great responses. We've gotten some suggestions from people for improvements on the courses, of course. And, there's going to be a couple of additions to this here and on our Teachable as well. So for the new classes going forward, while I'm not the greatest online marketer, so yeah, I know you found my channel and things here, but we're all good at some things and terrible at other things. Never ask me to repair a vehicle because it's not going to happen. I'm terrible with engines and things. I can repair a bicycle, that's okay. But in the end, what Udemy gives me is access to a larger pool of people overall. So I have about 3,000 students overall across all the courses I have here. Moving my stuff to Teachable is much more of a challenge for me because it's up to you to do more self-promotion, do more outreach, and you don't have that giant student base that Udemy offers up. But so we're going to be rolling the dice here this year, utilizing YouTube a little more to talk about your interests in building your drone business and seeing what types of classes we can build for you, or what short video series we can just do here on YouTube when it's just a smaller, shorter question. But so in the end, yeah, when you see that price and you go, wow, these content creators are making bank on these classes. No. So how do some of these people who, really do make a living on Udemy or Teachable or the rest, how are they doing it? Well, one of the big things on Udemy, from everything that I've read about it, is lots of classes. Put lots of classes out there. So while you're only getting a couple bucks a class, if you've got 40 or 50 classes out there, on different little topics, that's where the bigger money comes in. I don't have time to do lots of little classes because one of the parts of my course series is the fact that you're actually coming along with me to real job sites. This isn't me practicing somewhere. I'm not hanging out in a field. I'm actually doing client job sites, doing work for clients who are happy with what we produce for them, and then taking it back and building some of that into the classes. So what you see in our classes are based on real world experience, ongoing experience. So we've got 11 different project sites for 2022 right now. I took a phone call this morning about 2 new potential sites, and they'll be letting me know in the very near future if I'm going to need to get out there and start documenting a couple other new builds. So I got bummed out a little bit yesterday. Not super bummed out, and I'm not fuming angry here or anything. It does tick me off with the piracy, especially when we start talking about what's the reality of the type of income that we're getting off of one of these classes. There's a lot of effort that goes behind it. I'm not just saying my own classes, but other classes I've taken. People put a lot of their time and effort into it and sharing their skills with everybody else online. And I think that these class sites are fantastic and really do a good job at helping us, reach out. And then when someone comes along and decides to pirate this, piracy on the internet's been around for a while. I've had to go after people for utilizing my copyrighted images over the years, from the time that I was doing gallery work and just professional photography work before the drone stuff started up. And you know, it's a pain. The subscriber who let me know about this did point out in a funny way, and it was funny, that hey, my class is good enough to be pirated. I've made it. So, so what I was going to be talking about this week, before I had this one come up, was the fact that we are doing, well, we're basically done with a beginner's guide to WebODM. The class series is up. The class series is going to be growing, and as you can see, now we're over on my Teachable site. By the way, we've made the link easier. It's classes.azdrone.net, so you don't have to remember the whole Teachable address. And the WebODM for beginners was inspired not too long ago, as I'm always looking for low-cost solutions that will actually work for your drone business and my drone business. I tried WebODM out a couple of years ago. It failed, it crashed, it just, you know, curled over and passed away when I tried to use it on my Windows system. My old iMac 2017 could run some small models, but just not enough. And there's been a lot of changes with WebODM in the recent past. And if you look at my playlist there on WebODM on YouTube, there's the playlist right there called WebODM. You'll get more of a fill-in on that. But so we've done a massively deep dive, and thanks in part to the folks on our Patreon channel for getting information back to me, sharing information of their own testing. And so I have gone, you know, full in on this, and I've already been using it on some project sites. So this new one is launched here on Teachable, and I'm following the pattern of Udemy. So we're saying, you know, the course price is $29.99, but we do discounts as well, especially for our YouTube subscribers. So most anything that you find on my Teachable channel does have a discount of 40%, 40%, all in caps. And so for our individual classes, if you haven't checked them out on Teachable, our individual classes for our subscriber base on YouTube and for folks from Udemy or wherever you find us, we do mark that down for you guys as well. So for this one, when it's officially launched, it's going to be 40% off. So that comes into like $17. And part of that goes out to Teachable for fees and things. But I, you know, want to pay myself a little bit for these things. So the core of my business is not these instructional series, not even close. I wouldn't even say it's 1/6 of our overall income. So this is the side hustle, as some people call it. But let's take a look at this real quick. So this new one, please don't pirate it. Give me a little time. But for this new one, it's WebODM for beginners. We've got a thank you message here and an explanation of what's going to be going on with this class. And then I have a full explanation of what goes into this class, what you can expect from it. If you're already a WebODM user, then you're probably trucking right along. But for those who are really new to it and wanting to try 2D and 3D modeling, and maybe everything else has seemed so cost prohibitive to you that you've kind of felt stuck and at an impasse. Pix4D is a lot of money, Metashape's a lot of money, Maps Made Easy, when you use their point system, that can cost a lot. Drone Deploy, you know, all of these different subscription fees or license fees. I just have so many subscriptions with so many different groups. But so if you're looking for something where you can make a high quality ortho mosaic really quickly, this might be of interest to you. So like I said, right now, standard price is $29.99, but everyone expects the markdown. And so we've got that 40% markdown. And in addition to the enroll now, so by the way, on the whole copyright and piracy thing, I just want to point out, this is something I do everywhere. So my first thought when the subscriber got in touch was, oh, it looks like they've just got my previews. Okay, I'm okay with that. But then he sent me some other links to show me the screen caps he got. So I really appreciate the information, by the way, and the heads up. But so as you can see on this class, I do have 2 free previews here. So I always do that with the classes so that you get an idea of what's going on with them. And then the rest is the main course material. This is actually the full curriculum here. So, and the end of the course, I do note that there's probably going to be more added to this as time goes forward. I've got several new classes in mind as well, with some of the information that I've taken away from WebODM, other useful ideas for drone operators. So you'll see more about that in the near future as well. So And then, yeah, we show through all of it, give some screen caps, and we also have our featured products here as well. So like I said, I'm terrible at marketing myself. I don't like being a push salesman. So there, if you're interested in this, feel free to sign up. Let me know, drop me a note, and we can talk more about it. I'm always happy to hear from subscribers on channel as well. And the folks over on our Patreon channel will let you know that too, Jersey. All of your classes are amazing and well worth it. Thanks, Jersey Drone. I appreciate that. So I really do. So by the way, everyone, if you're not a member of our Patreon channel, once again, not pushing about that, but we have some fun conversations. We do a weekly Zoom meeting where we talk about different topics. We've got folks with different skill levels. We've got folks who are applying some of the things that we've learned together and doing their own new jobs. So one of our patrons was out this past week because they were flying a job for a client. 2 weeks ago, we had a couple of the patrons out because they were out flying jobs for clients. So I love hearing that. All of our Patreon Zoom meetings are captured and set for replay for patrons. And also they have access to our Discord server. So, and with the access to the Discord server, you can all talk amongst yourselves and actually drive me to find new content for you as well. Because the whole WebODM thing was born out of one of our patrons saying, hey, WebODM's improved, and boy, were they right. So in the end, let's go back here, and what we can do, let's just arrow back one more here. So we do have, the other reason why I signed up with Teachable, just so you know, they have a new bundling feature, and of course I'm scrolling past everything, but one of the things I could never do on Udemy, which was a really big disappointment, was bundle classes together that are related. So if this class shows you how to fly with an autonomous application like Ground Station Pro, let's say, I've got another class about Map Pilot, so those could be bundled together. Or we've got our construction progression reporting where you do 3D modeling, 2D modeling, you have to do the flight paths. So there's another bundle for you. So one of the nice things is we can actually do the classes individually, or we can do the course bundles where you get, in this case, 11 classes from AZ Drone, and they're all interrelated. So that was the other big thing that made me decide to start using Teachable a little more than a year ago. Like I said, I'm terrible at the self-promotion side, so I haven't been pushing the Teachable as much. We'll try to do better this year with that. Let's see, Checker. Hate to hear when people steal others' hard work and innovation. Just want to send some support. Jack, I really appreciate that. And, it happens. Like I said earlier in this, I had another class that got nabbed a couple of years ago. And once again, let's go back over. I mean, Udemy, so no picking on Udemy here, even though I was talking about the pricing. I'm just being as honest as I can. But, I like the fact they've got this third-party group where we can report this to. Udemy does give you some suggestions. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing going forward with classes is watermarking somewhere in the courses as well, just so that if someone sends me a screen cap again, I can say, oh yes, that's mine, and then start pursuing it. So it is a bummer when you see that, but as my subscriber joked, hey, I'm good enough to be pirated. There you go. I've made the big leagues. And I know that other instructors go through this as well, so it's not just me. And with that in mind, I can't be too mad, but I'm hoping that we can shut that down and have, if people are interested in the classes, Udemy, Teachable, contact me and, let me know, what classes you're interested, what you're doing, and then I can give you some suggestions as to here's what we instruct on, here's where I suggest that you do your, not interested at this time. Oh, no problem. Yeah, in this line of business, you have to do the real job first. That's exactly it, Jack, and that's a bigger part of what I'm doing too, is doing the flights for my clients. So these classes get put together when we've got open time, and then when we've got our other projects, the classes get tabled for a little while. But yeah. So anyways, I like Udemy's information on this, and I know all of these services. There's so many different screen capture utilities out there. So could I just stream something in here, screen cap it, and then repost it somewhere? Yeah, we all can. So it's just the big thing, Are you going to do it, or are you going to help the instructors out? By the way, for anyone who's on this channel right now who might have seen any of our video series, and maybe you got it from a BitTorrent or Pirate Bay, maybe you're feeling a little bad about that right now. Down in the show notes below, I've got a link to my PayPal if you'd like to make a donation for the usage of the class that you didn't pay for. Also, there's a sign up for our Patreons, and as I said, we have a good time with the Patreon channel, and we've got a really great group of folks. It's a nice small group, so we really do get to talk through subjects very well together. And on bigger subjects, I will go out and research things when people ask stuff that I don't know about. And most of our members do the same thing for each other as well. So it's a great community. So if you were part of the pirating of one of my classes, you got a couple options to make it right. I'm not chasing everyone down, but I am going through the steps that I can with Udemy and Teachable to make sure that the other classes are secure. So thanks for stopping in on this one. If you've got any other questions, I'll stick around here for a minute, but I just wanted to share this with everyone because, there's a lot of great course material being generated out there by content creators who are knowledgeable in things that we're not as knowledgeable in. If you want to learn about database design or building with FileMaker, part of my old job back in my telecom day, I dealt with database design as just one of the fractions of the jobs that I was doing. But when I came back to database design years later, and when a client said that they wanted to use FileMaker Pro of all things, remember that? It's still a thing. I actually went out onto lynda.com and did several classes on lynda.com to pull me up to speed for the bit of time that I'd been away from doing database design. So I also used lynda.com for some of my web development. Another great site, so another one of my favorites is Kelby One from Scott Kelby. Years and years ago, I was signed up for Kelby training for years. So I paid them a yearly fee to be up to date with all the latest and greatest things in Photoshop and Lightroom and all the rest. The reason why I know so much about Photoshop and Lightroom today is because of that subscription service with Kelby Training. So, very happy to pay content creators who are educating me for me doing better at my business. And that's what you'll find here regularly. We're wanting to help you build your drone businesses as well. And when we see a need for a course, when we see that there's not enough material out there on it right now in one location for potential students, that's when we look into start building a class. So also, if you have any class ideas for us, if you have any requests, let us know. And like I said, we will be seeing more ground control points this year. We did a private session for our patrons recently, talked through a lot on utilizing ground control points with Metashape and with WebODM as well. So all of that content, by the way, if you join up with the Patreon channel, all of that content is backwards compatible. So you can go look through everything that we've talked about the moment that you become a patron on the Patreon account. All right, everyone, I'm going to wrap this one up. Thanks to everyone. And Eric, thanks for the registering materials. I'm actually going to do some reading after that because it was aggravating to see. I do know that I still have students coming in regularly to Udemy and to Teachable, but the BitTorrent thing, the Pirate Bay thing, that could have cost me some students. And one of the big things for these classes, like I said, not a big part of my income, but a lot of what does come in here is used for new drone equipment, new equipment for doing these videos. All the live stream stuff does cost us. So when we upgrade things, it's usually because we've got a little in the war chest from the classes. So all right, everyone, we'll see you again later this week, I'm sure. I've got some more videos lined up, and this kind of distracted me this morning, so I just wanted to have this conversation. Just a heads up, 40% doesn't work on the WebODM course. Thanks, Jim, and that's why I've got people betaing it, but they probably didn't test that part. So I'm gonna fix that probably in 5 minutes time, Jim. So thank you on that one. And so yeah, let me actually, once I'm done with this video, I'm just gonna go right there and do it. So thanks for that catch, Jim. And see, these are the types of things. That's why the other thing, by the way, just to let everyone know, we've got multiple folks on the Patreon channel who are doing the beta of this class right now. And so thank you all for doing it. And I'm glad that the information is also helping you along as well. Okay, everyone, have a great start to the week. Let's hope nobody pirated you to start your week out. And we'll see you again on channel real soon. So as always, I really appreciate you taking the time to hang out here occasionally. It's super appreciated. So we'll see you guys again real soon. In the stream, there we go.